came from.
Well, that's the purpose of my question. Was there consultation? Because
Not with the department.
That's not enough money.
There was not consultation with the department.
Okay, so what happens now?
I got back from vacation this morning. I made all the calls I could this morning, and nobody is able to tell us where this came from, other than there was a reference that the department said that there would be no increase in racehorse development fund transfers, and so there would be no increase in racing horse development fund transfers, and they included testing in that. So it's concerning to me. We'll probably squeak by this year, but then I was told it's probably going to apply to next year.
Well, so you know the statute, that cap that applies going forward, not to this coming year, but to every year. So that the cap on the amount they'll take from the racehorse development fund applies going forward. But I was assuming that we're going to have some excess, I assume from the numbers I've seen, but you're not sure if that number is going to be enough to
Correct.
make a difference.
Correct.
Start passing the hat now.
We'll figure it out. I think that's the best I can say right now.
Well, I just would like, because a couple of years ago what led to this crisis was the fact that they were going to shut down.
Yeah, I think we kind of went backwards with this decision, but I'm not sure where.
Shut down racing.
No, it's not. That won't shut down racing. This needs to be renegotiated anyway in 2020. Is that correct? So.
What needs to be renegotiated?
The whole.
What she references, Commissioner DeMunda, is there's a sunset provision that kicks in June of 2020.
Right.
So I think what Tracy is saying right now, we're cautiously optimistic that the balance that's the surplus for this year will suffice for 2018-19. But we need a little bit of time since she's back from vacation to better accurately answer your question.
I think I would ask that the next meeting we get a report on what you expect.
Well, the transfer will be completed because, again, remember. Okay. We can. The spending authority will not change from what you guys agreed from. So it's going to be unusual because you're going to see a spending authority more than likely, I'd say very likely, higher than what the funding will be. So you usually have funding higher than your spending authority, but in this case, we're going to have spending authority probably higher than our funding. The comment I got back is the fund won't go negative, so it won't go negative, but it does affect end of the year transfer amounts and such. So anyway, I think we're fine for 18-19. I'm not going to panic for 18-19. My concern is moving forward to 19-20. If that exact same transfer amount that we're held to, and the initial indication from GBO is we will be held to that, that gets to be a little more concerning to me. But again, the sunset provision is going to kick in. I don't think anyone's going to go insolvent until the sunset provision. It's not going to make us go insolvent any earlier. It's just a different funding stream than I think we originally were trying to get to. So.
I hear you, but I'm not sure the sunset provision is whether the horse will agree to go forward with the program.
Correct.
I don't think they're going to pay more than that, but we'll deal with that.
But again, yeah, I think the concern being is we don't have stagnant dollars. The largest component of this is driven by personnel dollars. So we can't have a $10 million cap on the testing dollars forever. We're going to.
There is no cap on the testing. There's a cap on the amount, total amount. They could take the money from somewhere else and do the testing. This one to clarify. There's not a cap on the testing. There's a cap on the total amount from the Racehorse Development Fund. They could decide not to give somebody else part of that 30 million, whatever it is, and give you your proper amount. But the statute calls for a cap on that total amount, not just on the testing.
Are there any other questions?
Now, I knew there was.
Move on to your next.
So, are we okay with testing at this point? Racehorse promotion. Again, there was no revenue. Expenditures of $267,000. The comparative financial statement for both the commission and testing. Again, you can see overall revenues down 1%. expenditures look to be up about 10%. That's timing of UPenn payments, but the overall increase in expenditures is only 3%. So comparative, we're right on target. And then you have your restricted funds. Now, I did have a question from last month in regards to why in the commission we were so far under budget with our specialized service fund, or specialized service budget. Again, that did come down to the fact, as I explained before, not only that, but the admin billing are slightly overstated to make sure that we have enough spending authority because of this cash disbursement issue. So if we would run short in any area because the cash is distributed on July 1st, and bills are then still paid through September 30th for that state fiscal year, we have to have some ability to fluctuate with our spending authority. So it's placed in those two lines. So they're both going to come in under budget substantially. And it would be the same going forward for next year. That's just the line we tend to put the excess funding on, just to make sure we have enough. The testing is not done the same way, so the testing is as much as we can get as close as possible. Any other questions? Sal's still reading.
I'm done.
You're good? Okay. Anyone else?
I actually have received it before, so not the first time.
Thank you, Tracy. Welcome back.
Did you get it approved?
Yes. Is there a motion to approve the financial report?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we have an approved financial report. Moving on to new business. Brett, take it away.
Under new business, normal business actions as we do each month. Motion A is to approve the simulcast calendars for the 3 hunters tracks, and B to approve the simulcast calendars for the 3 thoroughbred tracks. So, Madam Chair, I'll be looking for one motion to approve A and B.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion, questions? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. No ratifications, so moving on to licensing and adjudications. Mr. Vessel.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There is presently before this commission a petition of the Ben Selling Racing Association for approval to change its internet platform to Sportech Racing LLC. You've now had an opportunity to review the petition, the recommendations of your staff, and I would offer this as the following order. And now this 26th day of June 2017, upon consideration of the petition filed by licensed racing entity Ben Selling Racing Association, Inc., and the averments contained therein, which seeks approval to change its previously approved internet platform to Sportech Racing LLC, the Commission, in accordance with Section 9353.5 of Act 114, hereby grants the above petition and request. That'd be a form of a motion.
Okay. Is there, thank you. Is there a second? Second. Okay, thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Moving on to Mr. Dewar, adjudications.
There are no adjudications. There was originally a hearing scheduled. It was an ejection matter from Penn National regarding Eduardo Rojas, which was continued to September 26th. So there are no other adjudications for consideration.
Thank you. Move on to pending appeal numbers and status.
The document, the hearings report that I submitted to the commissioners reflects that there are several matters before the Board of Judges and Stewards initially pending. Right now we have a total of 6 hearings which have been scheduled, and you can see them itemized. I won't go through the matters, but there are 6 hearings scheduled and to be conducted. There are 2 outstanding matters that have been conducted, and we are presently awaiting the proposed adjudication from the hearing officers. And there are still 2 outstanding appeals in the Commonwealth Court level, one for Lorman and one for Sarissa, and the federal court has not yet ruled on the motion to dismiss filed by the Attorney General's office. That's the extent of the hearing report.
One other item of new business, and that's the intervention regulation. You want to address that, George?
Thank you, Chairman. Presently before you is a temporary regulation dealing with the Commission's intervention procedures. In our review of some of the processes dealing with new applicants, new racetrack applicants, potential SPMOs and ADW companies, we realized that the existing intervention regulations of the Commission is rather sparse. So we have proposing a full-blown intervention regulations that details exactly who, what, where, and when people can intervene in particular matters, and how this Commission will notify the general public when there is a matter in which someone can intervene. You've had an opportunity to kind of review it and take a look at it. We've had our discussion on this. Again, these matters of intervention are strictly limited to applications for live racetracks or conducting horse race meets, transfer of licenses between ownership, change of ownership, anything dealing with account wagering or electronic wagering entities, as well as tote systems and racing vendors. Those are the types of matters that can come before the Commission, and the Commission will either publish it in the Pennsylvania Bulletin, notify the public as in a typical meeting, and then the intervener would have the right to file a petition with the Commission to intervene in that matter, and the Commission would render a decision on that. These are temporary regulations. They will ultimately become published in the Pennsylvania Bulletin and published on the website, if so approved by the Commission, and then ultimately will become part and parcel of the full regulatory rewrite that we have in the works. This would be the order, if I may. And now this 26th day of June 2018, in accordance with its general jurisdiction to regulate all parimutuel horse racing activities, including the rules of racing, and pursuant to its authority set forth in 9311H of the Racing Act relating to adoption of temporary regulations. The Commission hereby adopts the following temporary regulation under its rules of administrative practice and procedure governing intervention procedures as fully set forth in Annex A. This order adopted temporary regulation shall be published in the Pennsylvania Bulletin and shall be posted on the Commission's website. This amendatory language shall become effective upon publication. That would be in the form of a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Commissioner. Did you get that, Commissioner Ellis, for the second?
Yeah, if you could identify who makes the motion and who seconds, it does help.
Motion by Commissioner DeBenda, second by Commissioner Ellis. Any discussion or questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Okay, moving back to old business. Tom?
On the out-of-competition update, there's nothing to report. We did not, since the last Commission meeting, conduct any out-of-competition testing. We have some scheduled for coming weeks and coming months. Our estimate is on a year-end basis, we will do either the same amount, possibly 10% more compared to last year.
Thank you, Tom. Ashley, how about the marketing?
Okay, I have a quick marketing update for today. Update for the PA Horse Racing Association statewide branding campaign. The PA Horse Racing Association has begun working with Pavone Advertising Agency on the first phase of the statewide branding campaign. During phase 1, Pavone will analyze the Savvy Group's research report and use it to conduct more in-depth primary and secondary research. They will develop and test a new brand identity concepts, including logo and brand standards. They will develop a communications plan and test creative concepts. The website sitemap, and wireframes will be constructed during this phase, and phase 1 is its projected timeline is June 18th through August 27th. An update for the Delaware Valley University Economic Impact Study. Delaware Valley's research team is currently analyzing previous PA industry studies and studies from other states. A questionnaire for the study will be sent out to businesses, owners, and farms in the beginning of July. The questionnaire will be sent out by mail and by email, and there will be a drop box with printed copies at each track. Along with the economic study, the report will include data for Pennsylvania and selected comparison states on wagering, handles, licensing, breeding, full crops, aftercare programs, and testing. The Economic Impact Studies file report is due in the beginning of September to the Commission for a review. 2017 and 2018 marketing grants. All of the Commission's approved 2017-2018 marketing grants will have invoices submitted to the state for reimbursement by end of the day today. I also want to touch on our 4-H racing educational programs. Again this year, the Commission and the PHHA will host educational events for the 4-H at 3 county fairs. The York Fair's Wild West Summer Fest on July 8th, Wayne County Fair on August 9th, and the Williamsburg Fair on September 21st. For the first time this year, the Commission, the PA Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association, and the PA Horsemen's Breeders Association will host a Thoroughbred 4-H educational event on September 1st during Parks Racing's PA Day at the races. Finally, I just would like to encourage everybody to attend the York Fair's Wild West Summer Fest on July 7th and 8th. The Wild West Summer Fest is a country festival centered around fair harness racing. This event is free to the public and will include live harness racing, carriage and pony rides, barrel racing, trail challenge competition, and a lot of other equine educational demonstrations throughout both days.
I have one question. This is Tom and Ashley. You mentioned that the invoices will be submitted today for the remaining funds. Do you expect that all the funds in the marketing fund will be distributed by the date required, and there will be no funds left in that at this point?
Yes.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
How many fairs have applied for the $5,000 grant?
So far, 4.
4 of the 15.
But it's, a lot of their fairs are farther on, so they usually do it like 30 days before.
4. Very good.
Anyone else? Thank you, Ashley. Appreciate it. Moving on to industry reports.
General reports, I don't have any speaking directors today. Horseman, Kim Hankins or Sam Beagle? No. Michael Balesi? No. Moving along to the breeders, Brian Sammartello.
Good afternoon. The first page you can see of the report, the slot revenues to date. They're down about $727,000. And again, that's because of the money that was taken out at the beginning, first couple of months. But we are making it up because it was down as much as I think $1.8 million. So it's starting to even out. Our awards banquet, our annual awards banquet, I'd like to thank Deputy Secretary Strathmeyer for coming and giving out the PA Preferred Awards, which are given out to PA Sire, PA Breds. And I'd like to thank all the legislators that attended the event. We had a significant increase in legislators this year, which is a good thing. We gave out 2 special awards, 2 new awards. One was a $1 million roundtable. That was to our PA Breds who achieved $1 million in earnings, and our first Lifetime Achievement Award, which went to Jonathan Shepard. You can look through at the awards on the Thoroughbred newsletter that's attached. September 1st, as Ashley had mentioned, the PA Day at the races. Everyone's invited. Come out and have a fantastic day. Any questions?
Great, thank you. Harness Breeders, Michael Simpson?
No report.
No. Madam Chair, that's the end for the general reports, and at this time, there's no public comment on it.
All right, well, let's move on to a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Stand adjourned until July